All right, how do we do YouTube videos in Simmetri? The way to accomplish this, just streaming them in, is pretty simple. You just have to get yourself two handy dandy tools. Most DJs probably have these already. If not, and you're new, this video will walk you through those steps. So the handy dandy tools are VLC media player and the NewTek NDI VLC plugin, which is part of a tool pack that NewTek has. Both of these are free. VLC is a project that you should donate to because it's rad. And what we have here is three. On our tutorial page, we have all of these instructions and the links to these pages, but this is the VLC media player and VLC media player NewTek plugin page on newtek.com, and it runs you through how to connect the two together. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to download VLC, and you're going to need to get the installer for the 64-bit version. Okay. So get the 64-bit version, and then over on the VLC, let's see, oh, that's the one other page here. Let's just link to it. It's the tool pack here. Okay, so you're going to get VLC 64-bit, NewTek NDI tools, newtek.com/NDI/tools. And you can click this download button here or scroll all the way down to the bottom. And here on the Windows side, you're going to hit download. And when you, and you'll see right there, it's got the NDI VLC plugin. And when you install both of these, they play really well together. And I'm going to show you the steps that they take you through here on this page. So that's basically once VLC 64-bit is running and the NewTek is in, you're going to basically now have your VLC media player is going to look like this. And you're going to have basically, by clicking on media, open network stream network, you can place a YouTube video in here. And this is actually one from our YouTube channel. So if I click play, you'll see it pulls up the screen, and it won't simultaneously stream to this page. You'll see it like running. I'm not sure what my settings are, but you'll see that when we go into Simmetri in a second, you'll notice that the output is perfectly running. And so we're 22 seconds in of a 5 minute and 22, so we've got a little bit of time here. So that's how you get the stream in. So media, this is how you get YouTube in. Media, open network stream, network, paste in a full YouTube URL and hit play. You may have to follow a few more dialogues after that. And now for exporting via NDI, you're going to go to Tools, Preferences. You can set up audio. Right now we're not supporting audio, but that's on the list to do pretty soon. That can get really pretty cool. But you're going to select video. And then under output, you're going to want to select NewTek NDI video output. So instead of any of these, you're going to come down to NewTek NDI video output and hit save. All right, so I can start this at the beginning. And now when I go into Simmetri, you'll do as, let me delete these textures. I'll delete that one. So you'll do as you do to bring in an input. This is new as of June 13th, 2018. Right click, new texture, or texture, new input 2D texture, new input 2D texture. So that is an input 2D texture, and it actually goes and grabs the first from the list. So you'll actually see my YouTube video beginning to, you'll see it streaming there. But if it hadn't, what you do is you go to Edit, Preferences, and you'll find on your Inputs tab at the bottom, go to Input Textures. So there's like controls that you can input, but Input Textures you want to select on the left side, and you'll want to bind it to, if you have more input textures, you'll see input by a different name. Actually, let me show you that. So if I went to New, Import, New Input Texture 2D. So now I have Input Texture, Input 2D Texture, and Input 2D Texture 2. So if I go to Edit, Preferences, if I go to the Input Set, the Input Textures, you'll now see that I have 2D Texture and 2D Texture 2. And if you have another program feeding in, if there's other NDI streams, you can access them here. You'll see them under this set. You'll see, so let's set the top one to, this is the VLC. You'll see VLC is written here, so that's the NDI. And then like if I had spout coming out from Resolume, I could have a bunch of spout textures here. They would show up. Sorry, they're not going to, the spout textures won't show up here. These textures represent what's in here, yeah? And then you're going to set it to whatever's in here. This is where like the different ones on your system, spout and NDI, will all show up. So then you're just binding them. You're saying, okay, input 2D texture. In fact, you may want to do this. You may want to go, this is a possibility. I'll say, look, select the texture and then come over to the properties and name it. I might name it VLC underscore. So like now, edit, and then here, sorry, and then let's call this one just for grins. I don't have anything coming from Resolume, but you could imagine this. Resolume 1 underscore spout underscore, something like that. And now I can manage them here as textures that I can then apply as materials. And then I can bind them up here in the inputs. So I would say VLC, set to VLC, then I'd come to Resolume and I go set to Resolume, whatever one I want to call, like camera 1 or something. Cool. Okay, so now I want to make a material. I just, if I right click on the VLC, on this texture, and I right click on VLC, I have to create new texture, new material from texture. Let's take a look at that again. Right click, create new material from texture. Cool. And then if I select all, you'll see all the different things in the library, or I could just go to materials and I'll say VLC input 2D texture. And you can make multiple materials. You could make like, from this one texture, I could make like a super glossy material. I could make a super, I could put a bump map on top of one and make it kind of, like make it rocky surface, whatever. There's all kinds of things you can do there, but the textures can feed many materials. That's all there is to say there. So if I put a box in the space now and I drag this VLC texture or material onto it, I will get, I'll now have this material wrapping this box. And if I want to just have it on a plane and on, I can do that. I have a plane. So I made a material and then dragged the material on. You can also just go straight from texture. So like if I saw this VLC texture and I drag it on, it automatically creates a material. So I should, or it repeats if it already has a material, it goes to the first that it's created. So there's some quick ways you can do that kind of stuff. Let's see, my plane here has a rigid body. I can deactivate that. So now I've got, I think I've reached the end of the timeline. So if I go back to VLC, so there you can actually see VLC on the top of the screen. material is, we'll take a look at the material. You can always select material under the transform, under the bottom options. You can select material and it'll jump you right back into the material. If I'm going to do work on a material, since it's one layer down from the actual objects, I'll go ahead and pin it using that plus sign. So I can, that's an X now, and it'll go away. But you always have camera and whatever you've selected in the space. So it's the camera of the viewport that you're in, and you always have, you know, selected. So if I want to make, if I want to get the material of this object, instead of like drilling in here, I will sometimes just pin it, or I'll use select material. So that's a fast way of working with the materials. So this material is, it's not technically two-sided. You'll notice that if you build, for example, an entity sphere, make a big sort of like, remove the rigid body on this, make a dome, a dome show. Let's put that. You notice that I'm actually like, it's like transparent from the inside of this sphere. So if I make this material, I've selected the VLC material, which is on that input 2D texture is on, that material is on this sphere, but it's not two-sided. So if I want to make it two-sided, I'd make two-sided true. I now have like wrapped it to the inside of this. This is the inside of the sphere. Due to a combination of the compression, like the record out, the compression, and then the lower resolution of the YouTube video, it doesn't look tremendously great. It's blown up this big and inside kind of a dome. But there are really high res and like high def videos. I think you can almost find, I'm not sure if YouTube has full 4K, but you can find some really high res stuff on YouTube. And yeah, so you can even get 3D textures if you bring in 360 textures. If you bring in those, they just stream in equirectangular, and when you slap them onto a sphere, you will get, if you slap them onto a sphere, you'll get a perfect like recomposition of that 360 video. And if you go inside it, you basically have a dome show. So if I go 4K and 360, I'm searching in YouTube in my other monitor, and I'm going to grab a link. So this is surrounded by wild elephants, 4K 360. I'm going to grab that URL, and then oops, let's see. Let's go to VLC, media, stream, network, paste, stream, next, stream. Let's see if that did it. Oops, excuse me. Did I accidentally just paste in my, paste in the last one? No, this should do it. Control C. Let's check out the media. Open network stream, network. Should do it. Okay, there we go. It ran now. Not sure what I had done last time. If it goes green, like this, it may in fact be running the ad. If you press stop and play again, you may get, you'll get the actual video. Okay, so here's a 4K 360-degree video. And now I'm in the space. Yeah, you can see some of the stitching. It's not terrible. And I was in this actual one in VR the other day, and I had a friend in it, and it was as engaging as the it was as engaging as the kind of the 360 video might be. She was like, "Oh, here's this elephant. Here's this elephant." Coming right up to me. Although you can move around in this space, there's a way that you could set this so that the sphere would actually follow you. And now you're just doing 360, but something about the snuffle here. Right here. There you go. There you go. Cool, and then you can see it from the outside. You could actually, so to fly in, we took the rigid body off, but you could add a rigid body back, go up to selected preferences, that's or not preferences, excuse me, selected properties. On its top level, go to this little triangle and go add rigid body, and then, okay. And then in playtime, you've got these like rollable video spheres.
Material.
So you'll find you could also record out a 360 video from all kinds of different software, including Simmetri, and then bring that back in. Cool. All right, so that's that is connecting YouTube videos through VLC and NDI, and into Simmetri.